He built a hotel empire worth billions, one that, well, quite literally reshaped how we experience travel.
Absolutely. Changed the game.
Yet today, despite a personal fortune estimated at, $2.8 billion in 2025, Barry Sternlicht is often remembered, maybe unfairly, as the man who lost his beloved Starwood empire to Marriott.
It's a striking contrast, isn't it?
It really is. That's a powerful, almost contradictory statement. For many of us, the names W Hotels or the sheer comfort of a Westin Heavenly Bed, they evoke a certain standard.
Oh, definitely. Luxury innovation and a distinct feeling.
Exactly. And the visionary force behind these concepts and so many others that really redefine hospitality is Barry Sternlicht. But here's where it gets really interesting, where the paradox just deepens. How does a man with such an immense fortune, a genuine titan who redefined an entire global industry, how does he end up losing the very empire he meticulously created?
His beloved Starwood Hotels and Resorts.
Yeah, in that staggering $12.2 billion takeover by Marriott back in 2016. It sounds like a storyline ripped straight from some high-stakes corporate drama.
Full of ambition, triumph, and then this unexpected twist.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating, complex, and sometimes, heartbreaking world of Barry Sternlicht.
Let's do it.
We'll try to unravel this central paradox, explore the hidden lessons beneath this, frankly, shocking story of immense power, profound loss, and ultimately incredible reinvention.
What does it really tell us about ambition, resilience?
And what it genuinely means to build something lasting in a world that's, constantly shifting. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start at the beginning, because Sternlicht's story, it didn't exactly start with a silver spoon. Not a clear path to success.
Not at all.
In fact, it began with a significant, almost career-defining setback, an event that for most people would have been utterly crippling.
Right, but for him it seemed different, like a catalyst.
Like the thunderclap that cleared the path for something, maybe something far greater.
What's truly fascinating here, and really quite telling, is that his entire foundational financial philosophy wasn't forged in success.
Well,
no, it was forged in the crucible of early, very public failure. You have to picture the scene. It's the early 1990s. The U.S. savings and loan crisis is in full swing, just devastating, sending shockwaves through the real estate market.
A tough time.
A really tough time. And in the midst of this turmoil, at just 31 years old, Barry Sternlicht finds himself fired.
Fired at 31.
Yep, fired from his job at a real estate investment trust. Now, for most people, especially at that stage...
That's a career ender.
Yeah.
Or it feels like it.
Exactly. A profound professional humiliation. You might retreat, become cautious. For him, though, as you said, it was a profound, almost catalytic beginning. It was the moment that forced him to rethink everything he thought he knew about money, risk, opportunity.
That's an incredible pivot point.
Yeah.
Not just professionally, but, wow, psychologically, too. So what did you do next? Armed with that, devastating experience, but seemingly unfazed. How do you move forward?
Well, he didn't just move forward. He took this monumental leap of faith. It showed this fierce, almost contrarian spirit.
Okay.
In 1991, right after being fired, facing all this market skepticism, he founded Starwood Capital Group.
Starwood Capital, okay.
And this wasn't some grand institutional launch, backed by major banks. It started with a comparatively modest $20 million in capital.
$20 million. That's it.
That's it, which he painstakingly raised from friends and family.
Wow. That says something in itself, the belief people had in him even then.
It really does. It began as a small, specialized, distressed asset fund.
Distressed assets.
Well,
so basically buying things nobody else wanted.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Specializing in buying deeply undervalued, often near bankrupt properties or loans during economic downturns. Assets most investors are running away from.
Seeing them as toxic or too risky.
Exactly. But Sternlicht saw the potential. He saw something others didn't.
So he was essentially going dumpster diving for forgotten treasures while everyone else was panic selling. That takes immense conviction.
Precisely. And that initial modest venture, that act of seeing potential in the unwanted, it grew over 3 decades. It grew into an absolutely global powerhouse.
How big are we talking?
Managing an astounding $115 billion in assets by 2024.
$115 billion from $20 million raised from friends.
Think about that trajectory. From being fired, raising capital from loved ones, to buy what others called junk, to managing over $100 billion across diverse sectors globally.
That's phenomenal growth.
True.
Truly phenomenal. So what did this early experience, the firing, the crisis, the success in distressed assets, what did it teach him about money itself? How did it shape his perspective differently?
It fundamentally shaped his definition of money, altered it from what most people understand. He once said, and this is really a critical insight into his psyche,
What did he say?
money was never the end goal, but rather fuel for creativity.
Fuel for creativity, not the goal.
Right. He didn't see dollars as trophies to hoard, as static symbols of status. Instead, he viewed them as intensely practical tools, dynamic instruments to unlock opportunities others were simply too fearful, too conservative, or frankly, too conventional to even touch.
Okay.
The 1990s crisis, for example, it left countless real estate assets deeply undervalued, almost toxic, uninvestable by the market.
Right.
Sternlicht, however, saw gold in the ashes. He understood that while others saw decay, doom, there was intrinsic, often hidden value waiting to be unlocked if you had the courage to look beyond the panic.
That's a unique and incredibly powerful way to look at it. He wasn't just investing, he was transforming, almost like an alchemist, turning lead into gold.
Precisely. This mindset, you could genuinely call it liquidity alchemy. He had this almost innate understanding that money, in a sense, is inert, meaningless, until it's actively converted into influence, into a bold, groundbreaking vision, into fresh, often counterintuitive ideas. He had this remarkable ability. He could look at an abandoned hotel, a rundown property, an overlooked piece of land, and immediately imagine its potential transformed state. Not just its current dilapidated condition. This visionary ability transforming illiquid, unwanted, often deeply discounted assets into vibrant global hospitality brands. That became his absolute signature.
It wasn't just about buying low then.
No, it was about seeing future value and being able to execute a plan to realize it, where others just saw past failures and losses.
So for him, every crisis, every downturn that sent others running for cover was really what? A different kind of opportunity.
A hidden marketplace. It's a profound distinction that truly sets him apart, where the vast majority saw immense risk, instability, reasons to pull back.
He saw
mispriced opportunity, a chance to acquire assets at a discount and deploy his creative capital with maximum impact. This mindset didn't just protect him during turbulent times. Critically, it allowed him to expand.
Expand during downturns.
Yes, to make some of his most significant industry-altering plays during those very downturns. It's no coincidence that major moves, like acquiring Westin Hotels in 1994.
Westin, a big brand even then.
Exactly. That happened precisely when the broader hospitality industry was still struggling. He wasn't playing the same game as everyone else. For him, money was leverage for bold, creative plays. Not just security.
Not just a shield against risk.
It was an offensive weapon, not just a defensive one.
That's a critical distinction. It sounds like he almost weaponized contrarianism.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where that instinct led him astray? I mean, betting against the market is inherently risky, right?
That's an excellent question. And yeah, it speaks to the complexity of such a bold approach. While his major moves often proved incredibly prescient, it'd be wrong to suggest every single bet was flawless.
Okay.
The nature of distressed asset investing means you're dealing with high risk. Not every turnaround is a perfect success story, but his overall strategy was built on diversification and a really deep understanding of market cycles. That allowed him to absorb smaller missteps while focusing on the bigger, transformative plays, and his ability to recover, to learn from any less than perfect outcomes. That's part of his resilience, too.
Okay. So what does this all mean for someone listening right now, someone maybe navigating their own career or market uncertainties? What can we take away from this part of his journey?
It profoundly shows that a powerful, even transformative financial philosophy can be born from what looks like devastating failure.
Right.
The loss of a job, in his case, didn't lead to despair. It became the very seed of a global empire. It fundamentally transformed his understanding of money from mere numbers to a dynamic tool.
A tool for?
For resilience, for unleashing imagination, for continuous reinvention. It demonstrates that the most significant lessons, often the most enduring ones, aren't learned when things are perfect.
Like when everything seems to be going wrong.
Exactly. It's about cultivating the courage to see opportunity when others are just paralyzed by fear.
That gold in the ashes philosophy clearly set him apart. But how did someone with that singular view then translate it into an actual blueprint for building something immense? What were the mechanics of his career strategy, given he wasn't following the playbook?
His strategy was, like you said, never about following the herd.
Yeah.
Or chasing trends. It was about spotting deep, often subtle patterns the market ignored or hadn't recognized yet.
Okay.
And then moving with astonishing, almost audacious boldness when the timing felt most uncertain, even counterintuitive.
Right.
His career-defining play, the one that really announced his arrival, came in 1994. He was just 34.
Yeah.
Very young. He orchestrated the purchase of Westin Hotels and Resorts for $561 million, executing it as a shrewd partnership with Goldman Sachs.
$561 million during a struggling market.
Yeah.
With that firing still relatively recent. That sounds not just massive, but almost reckless. What made it shrewd?
It absolutely was seen as incredibly risky by most observers then. The hotel industry was still recovering, burdened by oversupply, economic uncertainty.
Yeah.
Making such a large acquisition seemed audacious. Foolhardy, even. The shrewdness of the Goldman partnership was leveraging their institutional scale, their access to capital markets.
Something Sternlicht wouldn't have had alone yet.
Exactly. Starwood Capital was still relatively new. Sternlicht, in turn, provided the deep market insight, the contrarian vision to see value in Westin's undervalued assets.
And the idea is to fix it.
And, crucially, the operational expertise and innovative ideas needed to turn the brand around. It was symbiotic. Goldman brought the financing power. Sternlicht brought the vision and execution.
De-risking a huge contrarian bet.
Right. By sharing the capital burden and the strategic heavy lifting for Sternlicht, it was the perfect entry point. Acquire a respected brand at a discount, infuse it with new life.
So it wasn't just about the money. It was the combined strategic power. And that single move clearly signaled his willingness to think on a grander scale.
Exactly. That single decisive move signaled his profound willingness to think bigger, act bolder, conceptualize opportunity on a scale far beyond anyone else in the game.
And then he topped it.
Oh yeah. Only 3 years later, 1997, he executed an even more transformative deal, one that truly reshaped the global hospitality landscape.
Which was?
The astonishing $13.3 billion acquisition of ITT Sheraton Corporation, including the colossal Sheraton Hotels and Resorts portfolio.
$13.3 billion.
Billion. It was an aggressive, high-stakes bidding war against Hilton.
Against Hilton.
And Sternlicht ultimately won by being more creative with financing, presenting a more compelling vision for the future of the combined entities.
It must have been a game changer. Not just for his company, but for the whole industry. He went from challenger to behemoth.
Yep.
Almost overnight.
Overnight, precisely. With ITT Sheraton, Starwood Hotels and Resorts wasn't just a big player, it became one of the largest hotel companies in the world.
Ahead of established giants like Hilton.
Almost instantaneously. It was a breathtaking, dizzying leap. Solidified Starwood's place at the pinnacle, the scale, the speed, unprecedented, marked him as a truly formidable force.
But he wasn't just about size, right? Buying existing brands. There's this deeper creative thread, a focus on reimagining the experience.
No, absolutely not. Size alone was never enough for Sternlicht. He understood this critical truth many competitors missed. The future wasn't just consolidating properties, fundamentally redefining the guest experience. This profound insight became the fertile ground for birthing entirely new brands. Brands that didn't just compete, but actively reshaped the industry.
Like W Hotels.
Exactly. W Hotels, launched in 1998, he pioneered the concept of lifestyle hotels.
What did that mean back then?
Well, these weren't just places to sleep. They were meticulously designed spaces, blending luxury with a youthful, vibrant energy. Infused with music, cutting-edge culture, a sense of social occasion.
I remember the buzz around W Hotels. It felt genuinely new. What was the specific gap he was trying to fill? And what did the traditional players think? Skeptical.
Oh, hugely skeptical. The gap was enormous. Traditional luxury felt stuffy, formal, disconnected from younger, affluent travelers who valued experience, authenticity, not just quiet opulence.
Right.
Sternlicht saw the late 90s culture, music, fashion, nightlife converging. He believed hotels could be central to that. Many thought W was a reckless gamble, questioned loud lobbies, DJs, minimalist design, and luxury. But his decision to ignore convention, to actively question it, trust his cultural intuition, it changed the industry forever, created a whole new category that competitors scrambled, often clumsily, to copy.
And the Heavenly Bed. Everyone knows that name.
Yeah.
It became synonymous with Westin, but also just elevated travel.
Yes, the Westin Heavenly Bed, introduced in 1999, another brilliant, almost deceptively simple example of his genius for elevating the guest experience.
Oh, so it's a bed.
Right. But he didn't just upgrade a product. He turned a single, meticulously designed product, this custom mattress, layered with soft down pillows, crisp white linens, into a multi-billion-dollar marketing story. It wasn't just comfortable, it was an aspiration, a promise of unparalleled rest, rejuvenation. Its success was astonishing. They sold over 30,000 beds directly to customers within 5 years. People wanted that experience at home.
Wow. Transformed a commodity into a brand icon.
Exactly.
So what does this tell us about his deeper philosophy? Beyond business acumen, bold finance moves, what's the underlying principle?
It reveals that for him, a hotel was never just utilitarian, a place to sleep.
It was more.
It was a stage. For identity, aspiration, powerful emotional connections, guests weren't just buying a room, they were buying into a lifestyle, an experience, a feeling. By anchoring his strategy in this belief, Starwood stood out. A true innovator, shaping global trends in travel and lifestyle, not just another chain reacting to them. This creative vision married with aggressive financial strategy. That was his recipe.
Which leads to that fascinating, almost ironic paradox.
Exactly, this very brilliance and scale, the innovative spirit that built Starwood into a global force. It eventually set the stage for its loss to Marriott.
The empire became so large, so influential, so desirable.
That it became an inevitable target in a consolidating industry.
Indeed. His rise showed wealth accumulation isn't just financial engineering. It's about reimagining an industry, pushing boundaries, creating new experiences. So beyond the grand strategies, the big picture moves, what were the day-to-day habits of a visionary like Sternlicht? What was his personal rhythm? What made him tick on a more granular level? Because empires require relentless execution, right?
You're absolutely right. His empire wasn't built just on audacious strategy. It was equally founded on incredibly distinctive, almost relentless personal habits.
Like what?
During the early Starwood years, he was legendary, working up to 18 hours a day.
18 hours, wow.
And this wasn't just a stereotype. It reflected his deep conviction that true leadership required absolute hands-on immersion in every single detail.
Not a distant CDO.
No, he wasn't issuing commands from on high. He was down in the weeds, literally diving into the smallest, most minute aspects of the guest experience. This obsessive commitment was his hallmark.
So he was obsessing over trivial things, as the source notes. Give us a concrete example of this micro-level focus.
Yeah.
Beyond just the concept of the heavenly bed, how did it work?
Okay, the Westin Heavenly Bed is the perfect example, but let's dig into how that obsession manifested. Think about it. Most competitors were fixated on loyalty points, price wars, filling rooms.
The usual metrics.
Right. Sternlicht personally pushed his team to completely rethink the very core of a hotel stay, the bed itself. He famously asked, why doesn't anyone remember the bed?
Good question.
And it wasn't rhetorical. It was a challenge that consumed his focus. After months of rigorous testing, working closely with Simmons, they didn't just pick a new mattress.
No.
They custom-designed one, meticulously studying sleep science, testing foam densities, spring systems, fabrics. Then they layered it soft down pillows, custom duvet, crisp white linens.
The whole package.
The whole package. It became an instant, resounding success, dramatically improved guest satisfaction, loyalty, boosted revenue, and incredibly, sold over 30,000 beds directly to customers in 5 years.
People wanted that exact experience at home.
Exactly. It transformed a commodity into a brand icon, all from a CEO's obsession with a single detail.
So, in essence, he zoomed in on the micro details to fundamentally transform the macro experience. It wasn't just the bed, was it? Extended to other things.
Exactly. This wasn't a quirk. It was a deeply ingrained habit, a strategic principle, extended to every touch point. He believed, quite rightly, that small sensory details,
Like
the precise texture of sheets, the ambient lighting design, the specific artwork, even the carefully chosen signature scent of a lobby.
the scent. Yes.
Cumulatively, these create incredibly powerful emotional connections, driving profound brand loyalty. This was more than intuition. It was human psychology meticulously turned into effective business strategy.
Focusing on the human sensory side.
Right. He transformed Starwood from just a hotel operator into a sophisticated lifestyle brand, one that resonated deep. It formed a lasting, almost subconscious impression.
And his habits seem to evolve too, to align with, even anticipate, global trends. Foresight. How did he identify those trends?
Yes.
Integrate them?
Absolutely. Consider the launch of One Hotels in 2015.
The eco-luxury chain.
Right, built entirely on sustainability principles. This wasn't reactive, it was profoundly proactive, long before green hospitality was mainstream or even a widespread demand.
He saw it coming.
He had the foresight to anticipate that younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, would increasingly demand environmental consciousness, ethical practices from luxury travel.
So how did he translate that foresight?
He didn't just read market reports. He observed societal shifts, consumer values, growing concern for the planet. His team extensively researched sustainable materials, reclaimed wood, recycled glass, organic linens, integrated biophilic design, bringing nature indoors. His ability to observe these nascent cultural shifts, understand them, then boldly turn them into concrete, innovative business models, it reveals a consistent pattern. His success wasn't just capital or financial prowess.
It was.
Sharp habits of observation, boundless curiosity, relentless, almost obsessive refinement of his vision. He wasn't just building hotels, he was building for the future, anticipating what it demanded.
Beyond the day-to-day habits, what's the underlying philosophy? The thing that guided him through these bold moves, and maybe more importantly, through the setbacks. What was his true north?
He's often described himself as a student of curiosity, which I find incredibly telling.
Student of curiosity, okay.
His philosophy of life, and therefore his approach to business decision-making. It can be powerfully summed up in one guiding principle. Be curious, be critical, assume you know nothing.
Assume you know nothing, even at the peak.
Even then, this mindset freed him from the arrogance that often accompanies huge success. It allowed him to approach every decision, every new venture with genuine humility, a willingness to challenge assumptions, including his own. Crucially, it gave him the sheer courage to launch ideas the industry considered not just risky, but utterly impossible. Because he was willing to admit he didn't have all the answers, was constantly seeking new information.
The W hotels come to mind again here. Perfect example of challenging the status quo, maybe even alienating traditionalists.
A perfect illustration, absolutely. Let's go back to 1998, traditional luxury hotels, defined by a specific aesthetic. Grand lobbies, formal service, quiet, hushed opulence.
Right, very formal.
Sternlicht, driven by that insatiable curiosity, saw something entirely different emerging. Late 90s culture. Music, fashion, vibrant nightlife, a new generation seeking hotels like dynamic social playgrounds, not quiet sanctuaries.
That wasn't just reading reports.
No, he immersed himself, observed how people lived, socialized, entertained themselves. Many thought W was reckless, destined to fail against established norms. But his decision to ignore convention, actively question it, trust his profound cultural intuition, it fundamentally changed the industry forever. Proved that humility in learning plus courage in execution could be revolutionary.
So it wasn't just numbers guiding him. There was a powerful human element, an empathetic understanding. How did he balance that instinct with hard data?
His decision-making was this masterful blend, acute instinct and rigorous data analysis, but with a specific hierarchy.
Meaning?
He doubly believed that while numbers could tell him what was happening, occupancy rates, room rates.
The metrics.
Right. They often fell short in explaining why it mattered or what the underlying human desire truly was. For Sternlicht, that why came directly from meticulous observation, profound understanding of human psychology.
Like the Heavenly Bed again.
Exactly. Remember the Heavenly Bed. Its genesis wasn't because market research demanded it. It was because he asked that simple yet profound human question. Why doesn't anyone talk about or even remember the most essential, intimate part of a hotel stay? That willingness to merge logical analysis with genuine empathy, human insight, that unequivocally defined his unique leadership style. He trusted his gut, but always sought data to confirm or challenge his hunches.
This philosophy must have also been his anchor, his guiding light, through the biggest setback, losing Starwood itself.
Yeah.
How did be curious, be critical, assume you know nothing apply then, in that moment of immense pain?
It absolutely did. When Starwood Hotels, the company he built from scratch, was sold to Marriott in 2016 for $12.2 billion, he openly admitted the experience was painful.
I can only imagine.
This wasn't just business for him. He meticulously built it, nurtured its identity, watched it redefine global hospitality. Losing it was, as he expressed, like losing a part of himself, a piece of his identity. But instead of letting regret or bitterness define his next chapter, he applied the very same philosophy. Curiosity, critical self-reflection, humility. He didn't dwell on what was lost. He channeled that energy, that pain, into new ventures. fortifying Starwood Capital's portfolio, launching new brands through SH Hotels and Resorts, One Hotels, Baccarat, Treehouse.
So he asked different questions.
Exactly. He asked himself, what have I learned from this loss? What new opportunities exist now? Rather than, what could I have done differently?
So what does this tell us about his overarching approach to life? Continuous evolution. Sounds like a mindset designed for perpetual growth, even through adversity.
At the core of his decision-making, his entire philosophy, it's this fascinating paradox. He boldly embraces significant risk, but with inherent humility.
Risk and humility. Interesting combo.
He operates assuming he doesn't know enough, there's always more to learn, yet simultaneously he trusts his uncanny ability to see what others miss. This delicate, powerful balance.
Between confidence and doubt, instinct and analysis.
Precisely. That's what explains both his colossal triumphs and his remarkable comebacks. It deeply suggests true greatness doesn't come from knowing every answer,
But from
being perpetually willing to question absolutely everything. Remaining an eternal student. Always adapting, always learning.
Barry Sternlicht isn't typically in the headlines like, say, an Elon Musk or Richard Branson,
Yeah.
constantly seeking limelight. So how do we really understand his power thinking, his unique form of social influence? It seems quieter, subtler.
That's a crucial observation. His power has always been quieter, far more subtle, rooted in deep influence rather than loud spectacle or self-promotion.
So you'd call it.
Silent power. The remarkable ability to shape and fundamentally redefine an industry, not through bombastic proclamations or public grandstanding, but through lasting, almost imperceptible shifts. Shifts in how people worldwide live, travel, consume experiences.
He didn't just market, he transformed perceptions and behavior.
Exactly.
How did he achieve this silent power that penetrates culture so deeply, influencing millions without a direct celebrity-like presence?
One of his greatest, most enduring forms of influence has been unequivocally cultural. Let's look at W Hotels again, but through this lens of influence. With W, he did far more than create another brand. He ignited a global movement. Suddenly, the very definition of a hotel shifted dramatically.
From just beds and buffets.
To vibrant hubs, nightlife, fashion, art. Guests weren't merely booking rooms, they were actively buying into an identity, a curated lifestyle, a sense of belonging. Competitors worldwide were caught off guard, scrambled to copy this sophisticated, lifestyle-driven approach. In this profound sense, he didn't just lead a company. He redefined the social function, the cultural role of an entire industry, created an aspiration beyond the physical space.
And his influence extended to sustainability too, right?
Yeah.
Long before it was a mainstream buzzword, he seemed to genuinely lead there.
Exactly. The launch of One Hotels in 2015 was a direct, bold challenge. Challenged the assumption that true luxury and genuine environmental responsibility couldn't coexist.
How did he make that work?
By meticulously building eco-luxury properties using reclaimed materials, implementing local food programs, integrating biophilic design, connecting guests with nature, he adeptly tapped into a nascent but powerful generational shift.
Younger travelers.
Particularly millennials and Gen Z. They enthusiastically embraced the brand, saw it as the future of responsible hospitality. This positioned him not just as an innovative hotelier, but a genuine thought leader in sustainability.
A theme still central today.
Absolutely central to global business even now, in 2025. And he was championing it years ago, influencing consumer demand and industry standards long before regulations caught up.
He also wielded power through his vast, often understated financial network. Starwood Capital. Extended far beyond hotels, didn't it? How did that amplify his influence?
Absolutely. Through Starwood Capital Group managing that $115 billion by 2024, he quietly but powerfully influenced capital flow across diverse sectors.
Not just real estate.
No. Renewable energy, critical infrastructure. Starwood Capital invested in solar, wind farms, large-scale residential developments. By deploying capital there, he wasn't just making money.
He was.
Implicitly endorsing and accelerating trends. Sustainable energy, urban development. While Starwood Hotels made his name synonymous with hospitality innovation, it was Starwood Capital that gave him the expansive reach, the financial gravitas to shape markets far beyond hotels.
So his voice carried weight.
Immense weight, not just in hotel boardrooms, but across the broader, more influential investment world, quietly steering capital towards his vision of the future.
So it's about crafting experiences, whether a hotel stay or an investment, that rippled deeply into society, guiding future trends.
Yes, precisely. His power thinking wasn't just about markets or brand valuations. It was fundamentally about crafting meticulously detailed experiences that would profoundly ripple into society.
The scent in the lobby, the design.
Exactly, a scent, a design element, a compelling story through marketing. These seemingly small details cumulatively shaped how millions worldwide understood and experienced comfort, luxury, travel itself.
Social influence on a huge scale.
Immense scale. Subtle, deeply emotional, yet profoundly transformative. His version of power reminds us quite powerfully that true influence doesn't always come from loud disruption or constant media.
It can be quiet.
Quiet, deeply cultural, even largely invisible,
Yes.
subtly shaping how the world behaves, perceives things, without people even realizing who led the change.
Every empire faces its reckoning. For Barry Sternlicht, that moment arrived in 2016. Must have felt like a punch to the gut after decades of building. What was the true emotional toll?
That's right, a monumental moment. Marriott International acquires Starwood Hotels and Resorts, $12.2 billion deal.
Looked like a triumphant exit from the outside.
From a purely financial perspective, maybe, but for Sternlicht, far from it. It was heartbreak, pure and simple.
He built it from scratch.
From scratch. Nearly 1,300 hotels worldwide, iconic brands, Westin, Sheraton. These weren't just assets. They were extensions of his creative vision, his personality. Watching Marriott take control wasn't merely business. It was the gut-wrenching loss of his life's work, a piece of his identity, his soul. He later admitted, with raw honesty, the sale was painful but inevitable.
Painful but inevitable. Wow.
A stark reminder that even billionaires can't always control the ultimate fate of the empires they painstakingly create. The pain of relinquishing control. Many creators understand that, regardless of scale.
So what happens when a visionary like that loses his life's work? How did he respond to this devastating, almost existential crisis? Did he retreat? Double down?
This is what truly separates him. Elevates his story beyond just business, his Phoenix strategy.
Okay.
Instead of succumbing to nostalgia, regret, retreating into his considerable fortune, he treated the profound loss of Starwood as a critical turning point, not an ending.
So his philosophy was
clear. Not to waste energy fighting for what was irrevocably gone, but to immediately pivot and build anew. Through Starwood Capital Group, his enduring investment firm, he poured energy, strategic acumen into fresh ventures.
strengthening the portfolio, expanded.
Significantly. Strengthening real estate, boldly expanding into renewables, infrastructure. And through SH Hotels and Resorts, he launched a whole new generation of brands reflecting the future, not the past.
One Hotel's Baccarat Treehouse.
Exactly. These new brands were a testament to his continued creative drive, building on lessons learned but unconstrained by Starwood's past.
And by 2025, he even brought the Starwood name back, didn't he? A remarkable act of reclaiming his legacy. Almost defiant. What was the statement there?
Indeed. Testament to his tenacity, vision, deeply symbolic. SH Hotels was rebranded as Starwood Hotels.
The name returned.
What was once, to him, agonizingly lost to Marriott, returned under his direct stewardship. Crucially, not as a mere copy of the past.
But a new vision.
Reborn, infused with his updated understanding of hospitality, sustainability, luxury. The statement was clear. You can make the company, but you can't take the creative spirit or the vision behind it. This move perfectly illustrates the Phoenix strategy. The profound ability to transform devastating loss into powerful rebirth, turning deep crisis into the foundation for long-term strength, renewed purpose. True ownership is in the ideas, not just the assets.
This sounds like someone always playing the long game, looking far beyond immediate challenges, even personal setbacks. What's the scope of that thinking?
Absolutely. His long-game thinking is evident, extends well beyond hospitality. By proactively embracing global trends like sustainability, keenly observing cultural shifts, he consistently positions himself not just for the next quarter or year, but for the next decade and beyond. He possesses this innate understanding that crises, economic downturns, pandemics, personal setbacks are fundamentally temporary storms. The true measure isn't avoiding storms, but how you resiliently emerge, how you adapt, continue to build. For Sternlicht, almost every significant fall has paradoxically been the undeniable beginning of a new, often stronger rise, setting the stage for future growth.
So what's the ultimate defining takeaway from his unique crisis strategy? For those of us navigating our own challenges, what's the enduring wisdom here?
The ultimate takeaway is that resilience is, without a doubt, the ultimate competitive advantage.
Right.
In any field, any life,
Resilience is the advantage.
anyone can celebrate during good times. Markets booming, opportunities plentiful. But truly few possess the mental fortitude, the creative drive, the sheer will to genuinely rebuild, innovate, flourish after devastating personal loss.
Right.
Sternlicht's legacy isn't just the groundbreaking hotels or the billions, it's the powerful living lesson he embodies. That even in the profound shock of losing everything you painstakingly created,
There's still opportunity.
consistently lies the opportunity, indeed the imperative, to create something even greater, more aligned with the future, personal evolution. He shows us the end of one chapter is simply the beginning of another, if you choose to see it that way.
So what does the story of Barry Sternlicht ultimately teach us? It's not just about billions gained or empires lost, is it? It feels much more profound. About the human spirit, what it means to truly build.
No, it's about a deeper, more universal truth. What it fundamentally means to create, experience a profound fall, and then heroically rise again. Here's a man, the visionary architect behind one of the most powerful hotel groups, Starwood,
Change the game.
genuinely changed how travelers experienced luxury lifestyle, and then watched that meticulously built empire slip away to Marriott. Yet here he is in 2025, still commanding a formidable $2.8 billion fortune.
Still building. Still innovating.
Still innovating, and even remarkably, reviving the Starwood name under his new vision. His journey underscores that even at the pinnacle, vulnerability exists. But so too does boundless potential for reinvention.
So the lesson isn't that immense wealth or power guarantees security or permanence. His journey seems to challenge that.
If anything, his extraordinary journey shows the exact opposite. Even billionaires who seem invincible can lose their most treasured personal creations, the things they poured their lives into. The real strength, the enduring power, lies not in preventing those losses often inevitable in business, but in how one unflinchingly responds.
Right.
For him, the intense pain of losing Starwood didn't become a defining scar. It became potent fuel, energizing the creation of new brands, new visions, innovative ways of shaping hospitality.
His life story reminds us.
Compellingly, that resilience isn't some abstract quality. It's the tangible, daily decision to keep moving forward, keep building, when the world or your own inner voice tells you to stop.
There's a fascinating paradox at the heart of his legacy, too. Makes you think about what true success really entails.
Indeed. He didn't become famous for fiercely holding on to everything he built, being a stubborn guardian of the past.
No.
Instead, he became renowned, truly influential for daring to let go, having the courage to release and then to start over, sometimes from what must have felt like ground zero. He teaches us a vital lesson. Money is not an impregnable fortress. A fortune, even $2.8 billion, can rise and fall with unpredictable markets. A company, no matter how iconic, can be bought or sold.
What?
Creativity, true vision, the indomitable courage to reinvent oneself, those are intrinsic qualities. They cannot be taken away. They are the ultimate, enduring capital defining a person's true legacy.
So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? Navigating our own ambitions, potential setbacks. How can someone apply this lesson?
It's profoundly about identity. Barry Sternlicht shows us, through his lived experience, that you are not defined by what you lose.
You're defined by.
How you rise from that loss. How you choose to rebuild, redefine yourself in its wake. The empire he once lost, the old Starwood, may belong to Marriott, but the distinctive mindset that created it,
The curiosity, obsession with detail, resilience.
that mindset belongs to him forever. That's his true, untransferable asset, a powerful reminder. While external fortunes change, internal character is what truly endures.
If you've stayed in a Westin, a W hotel, maybe even a One hotel, you've already felt the invisible hand of Barry Sternlicht shaping your experience, influencing your expectations of comfort, luxury. His story isn't just billions or boardrooms.
No.
It's about the fragile yet powerful bond between creation and loss, between audacious vision and, well, the often harsh realities of the business world. And now, I want to leave you with a question to ponder, something to carry with you.
Okay.
Imagine spending decades building something that carried your name, your ideas, your very soul, only to watch it pass into someone else's hands. What would hurt more? Losing the money, the sheer financial value, or losing the very creation that defined who you are, the tangible expression of your life's work? How would you choose to redefine yourself?
Because sometimes the true secret of the rich isn't how much they manage to keep, but how deeply, how courageously they dare to start again.